6 months ago, to celebrate Christmas together, I uploaded a video. Can you beat Fear and Hunger hardest standing with the worst skill? The skill in question was Bloodlust, and you loved it, and I'm so grateful for that. Even though this came with a little problem. This caused a movement. Something which no one would be able to control. Something which, honestly, scared me for a lot of months. Now is it time to showcase Needleworm. Needleworm only when? Now, beat it with just Needleworm. Now do Needleworm. Where is the Needleworm Can't run? Wait for the Needleworm. But I bet you can't beat the game with the actual worst skill, Needleworm. If you could do that, I would be thoroughly impressed. Why did I have to start a YouTube channel about Fear and Hunger? Couldn't I play Genshin Impact like everyone else? But this is our life now, so welcome! I'm Frapollo94, and today we're gonna try to beat, using only Needleworm, Fear and Hunger! With this challenge, my brain cells are gonna explode incredibly soon, so it's better to start with the rules. The most important rule, we can only deal damage and defeat opponents using exclusively Needleworm. For those that don't know, Needleworm together with Bloodlust are the only D-tier skills in the tier list I made about Fear and Hunger skills, other than Phase Step, which is there more because it breaks the game. And if you don't know, you may wonder, what does Needleworm do? Why does it deserve D-tier? Well, let me explain to you. When you use Needleworm... Do I need any other explanations? It does 12 damage divided into 2 attacks, 6 damage each, and that's our damage for the whole run. There is no upgrades, you cannot increase the damage of spells. One of our attacks will always only deal 12 damage. Are you starting to realize why I waited so long to make this video? But hey, at least it does lifesteal, I guess. And since in the Bloodlust only run, we thematically decided to play as... the Berserker! Sorry, I mean Ragnavaldr. In here, for Needleworm, we're gonna play as Enki, and we're gonna try to get, in hard mode, Enki S ending. For the rest, debug spots are banned, which are tiles where you can collect infinite items or party members. They are all banned. And additionally, I am gonna ban a skill called Phase Step, which is a mistake. And I'm also gonna ban 2 glitches, the infinite lucky coin glitch in the Thicket and the infinite blue vial glitch in Mahabre. Apart from this, everything is fair game. I mean, it's still Needleworm only. We can use glitches to skip bosses, we can use glitches to do whatever we want. And if you think this is gonna make the run very easy... I am gonna murder you. One last note, I will have 99 Book of Enlightenment in the inventory to save the run and suspend it. Not to reload, just to suspend, because this run is gonna last for a very long time. Wow, a 3-minute intro. Who's gonna watch this shit? Let's start! Which name are we gonna pick? Recently, I have played Hollow Knight on the channel. I stream video games weekly if you're interested. In there is the cutest thing I have ever seen. They're called grabs, but from the first time, I've called them with a different name. Larvina! Larvina! And that's also gonna be the name for the cutest man ever existed. So, of course, from the intro we get Dash and Max Affinity with the God of Depths, which will be required to get Needleworm. Fun fact, did you know if you skip the intro with Enki, you will have Needleworm in your skills? And that's the only way to start with Needleworm. But it doesn't come with Dash, so it's trash. Enter into the dungeon from the main entrance because I love having dogs following me. No, actually, it's just because of Trortur quest. If you come from the basement, you cannot rat out Bachman to Trortur. Never. And after looting a little bit around, we're gonna do exactly that. This will be very important later. For now, I just wanted the 2 light blue vial reward in case we take damage. Remember, at this point of the run, we still don't have Needleworm, so if we enter into a battle, we still cannot deal I mean, Needleworm is 12 damage. But in this point, we cannot even do 12 damage. And after a quick detour in the prisons to pull the lever, it's time to jump into the mines and do the exact same thing. everything. Loot all the crates, all the vases, all the barrels, everything, in particular the torches. Torches in this first part are kinda important, but later... oh boy, later you will see. You know, after having done so many challenges of this game, I finally feel like I'm finally getting better at the game. The way in which I'm easily able to juke opponents, always have a game plan ready, faster thinking, no need to spend like 20 minutes in the menu to think about where to go or what to do. And I mean, one of the next challenges is gonna be blindfolded run, so that will be necessary. In the Cave Dweller village, remember to take the guaranteed soulstone and talk to this Cave Dweller. In that way, they will kill him and you will get a free body for the guaranteed soulstone. Congratulations, we have one lesser soul for free. Take the rope and go down. Later we will come back for the Cube of the Depths. Aren't you hungry by now? It's time to feast with the wolf masks for the free hunger refill and one level of affinity with Grogoroth. This is gonna be more important than you think. Open up the shortcut to the prisons and now we can almost start to play the game. And with almost, I mean, we are nowhere near being close to kill an opponent. I mean, it's a needleworm only run. What were you expecting? Get the mock-up book from the bookshelf and the maps from Isaiah for 50 silver coins. We will need them a lot later. Pray to Olmir on a ritual circle and in the backyard and sacrifice the dude on the cross, so you're gonna get one level of affinity with Olmir. At this point we can enter into the Hexen, where... Tortur! This is another bug which I did not even want to abuse, which makes you get multiple rewards from the torture quest. Keeping that in mind, it's finally time to get the skill we need. Needleworm... Blood Portal. We need Blood Portal. Hey, I told you we were nowhere near being close to killing opponents. Why do we take Blood Portal instead of Needleworm? Because I still have at least one brain cell in my body. Blood Portal is fundamental towards being able to reduce backtracking and the chances to make mistakes. And that's why we are gonna go around in the dungeon to trigger the 3 Blood Portals available for now. And with that, we are back at level 7 basement. I take a second here to check on our supplies and call my psychologist, asking where did I go wrong in life. And the psychologist won't pay for itself automatically, so leave a like and subscribe. Let's continue! It's finally time to go back to the Cave Dweller village. Not happy of having stolen already everything from them, I also take the cube. And no worries, they are still kinda slow, there is no way they're gonna catch us. But on the way back, I get involved in some weird dance with the specters and almost block myself between 2 of them. But of course, Olmir is constantly watching over my head. I swear, Olmir is watching my runs and is preventing me to fail. He wants to see what the hell am I doing. We are ready to enter Mahabre, and I gotta tell you, by this point we got... trash. We have, I don't know, I think 1 or 2 empty scrolls in total. Even though, to be fair, we still did not loot a couple of bookshelves above, so technically we may still consider this run doable. I just do not want to see Larvina failing. But since by this point I wanted more possibilities, I go into the past in Mahabre, I resolve the Mahabre puzzle, and I try to loot the scrolls. And we didn't really get good stuff from them. Let's hope we're gonna be luckier later in the Grand Library. Reach the center square and absolutely do not go to the right. I know there is a blood portal location in that direction in the Tower of the Endless. No. Don't go on the right, because in there is also gonna be the first battle of our run, and if we go in there now, we cannot do it anymore. And no, I am not talking about Skin Granny. Instead, go on the left and start looting once again. I think in this place we got actually 1 empty scroll, which is gonna be fundamental later. And then we found it. The scroll, which in 99% of runs is always a pain when it's found. The scroll, which some people have not ever even seen once in their life. The Scroll of Leeches. Do you know what does the Scroll of Leeches do? Scroll of Leeches teaches to any member of the party Needleworm. Exactly the skill we need for this run. And so, after entering one of the last locations of the game, we finally have the skill of the title. Okay, technically, from the scroll, you could also teach it to the skeletons, but there is a reason for which I'm not doing it, and I will explain it later. Now we can fight battles, we can kick some ass, and win... No, actually no. Remember, we still do 12 damage. I don't even have enough coins to buy what I want from the vendor in here because I'm missing 4 coins, so I guess we're gonna have to continue and hope we are lucky. I love this game. With 50 silver coins, buy the Sorcerer's Stone from the vendor in Mahabre. Congratulations, the first piece of the endgame equipment is ours. For the rest, reach the Grand Library in the present and trigger the Blood Portal, and then, in the past, enter into the secret room and say hello to Vtail. Oh no. Oh. It's finally time to tell you something. As I explained at the start, everything except debug spots and a couple of bugs is a fair game, right? So, we're allowed to skip bosses here and there. We can empty scroll the New God Souls, skipping their battles and going into the Golden Temple, right? Well, there is a little problem. You must defeat Vtail to progress in Enki Ascending, as you need to talk to Vtail in the present after defeating him. So, welcome. This is the main boss of this run. Everything we do has to be done to make Vtail fight possible with only Needleworm. Oh boy, we are gonna... No. I am gonna suffer. We are nowhere near being ready for this fight. That's why we're gonna go back to the surface. We need a corpse. And also I think it's finally time to show you a battle using only Needleworm. So we pick a fair opponent, the crawling ghoul, and behold, combat! No, you are not dreaming. This is the real Valhalla. This is the paradise Dante talks about in the Divina Commedia. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit to convince you to not unalive yourself in the video game, but the whole fight against one of the easiest enemies in the game was able to last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. God freaking damn it. Dealing only 12 damage each turn is gonna make fights last until the end of the world, and I don't know how much you played Fear and Hunger, but there is a small HP difference between the ghoul and Vtail, but we will talk about it later. If anything, I think this battle is gonna show you why the Sorcerer's Stone is fundamental. Needleworm costs 5 mind. Sorcerer's Stone restores 10 mind every turn. In the current moment we basically get plus 5 mind every turn, and later, once we will have an extra turn, we will basically spend no mind each turn to cast 2 Needleworms. We may not be able to increase the damage dealt from Needleworm, but we can increase the amount of times we cast Needleworm. Got our second Lesser Soul, I think it's finally time to get Loving Whispers from the Hexen. With the Sorcerer's Stone and Infinite Mind there is no reason to not take these healing skills. At this point, use an empty scroll to teach yourself Fast Attack. Yes, we could have stolen from the Gaunt Knight or Isaiah the scroll to teach ourselves Fast Attack, because before we got the Scroll of Thievery, but I think you're forgetting, we are in hard mode. In the current moment we are still not able to fight safely almost anything, and Isaiah and Gaunt Knight are both able to do terrible damage and also cut off limbs. Okay, to be fair, the limbs are not so fundamental in this run, especially the arms, but it's something more to consider. We cannot save scam hoping for the best result. If something goes wrong, it goes wrong and you have to either deal with it or restart the whole run. In case it wasn't clear, when I do a challenge on Terror and Starvation such as the one-shot everyone challenge, I do not care about the possibility of something happening. I can just hit my head in the wall multiple times until it works, but in hard mode we would have to restart from the beginning each time. That's why I prefer to play safe than sorry. Now that we have Fast Attack, forget the discussion I made literally 5 seconds ago, it's time to go on the right of the center square while in the present, and say hello to the real first obstacle. Lord of Flies. Lord of Flies is a great opponent considering it's found in a zone near the end of the game, but for this challenge, it's even more terrifying. Hello, I am Frappollo from the future, and I gotta tell you, when I was making this battle, I forgot you can talk to the Lord of Flies to make him stand for a turn. So, the battle went a little bit harder than usual, and what am I gonna say right now in the audio is specifically centered around that. My strategy was very simple. Fast Attack on the first turn. On the extra turn you're gonna heal and then guard. From this moment of the battle we're gonna have 2 actions each turn. We need Loving Whispers to out-heal all the damage he does, but also we need to use Needleworm to start destroying the limbs. In the current moment, we still don't have an incredibly large amount of mind or body restoring items, and our damage is... You already know what our damage is. We have one positive thing. In the turn in which he does the coin flip attack, one arm does not attack, which means not only we take less damage because we are guarding, but also it's easier to attack without risking of dying in that turn. And here there is another reason for which Needleworm is terrible. It's completely random which body part will be targeted. If we were able to choose the body part, we could just use it on the Lord of the Flies' head. It only has 20 HP, and in a couple of turns it would be our victory. Well, we can't. We have to gamble that we resist long enough for that to happen. We have to gamble that we stay in the battle long enough for Needleworm to deal 20 damage to the Lord of Flies. I gotta say, despite this challenge run being probably the worst idea I have ever had in my life for my mental sanity, this fight is kinda tense. Like, I am sincerely feeling caught by it. I am scared of losing. Yeah, of course you're scared of losing. You forgot you can talk to him. Whatever. Now it's the moment in which I'm gonna have the illumination, the 900 IQ idea. Are you ready? And then I got a 1000 IQ move. Escape. No, I'm not joking. Escaping was a fantastic idea. Did you notice we killed the legs of the Lord of Flies? The legs are gonna stay dead after the battle. We can now fully restore our body and mind to restart the battle with full forces, and there are less body parts to deal with. We now have a 25% chance for each attack to attack the head. 25% chance to reduce the value of the 20 HP by at least 2 or potentially 6 each time we attack. Our consistency is good enough to be able, after various minutes, to triumph. We did it! The first real opponent, because the crawling goal was kind of a stupid idiot, is dead. The prize? We can rescue Jeanne. That's what I love. In this game you can have the possibility to be kind and save people, or bring them to torture. Hey, I need the vault key, can you blame me? This come into play much later. So, the road to the Penance Armor is opened in case we may need it, and we are gonna need it, but for now we have to focus on the main problem, Vtail. And I am sorry to tell you, but for the next plan I have in my mind, there is the chance we're gonna lose our entire run. And more precisely, a 47% chance. But you will understand very soon. For now, loot all the bookshelves still available everywhere, and we get stuff like Greater Blood Magic, Empty Scrolls, the Passages of Mahabre, and with this last one, go to take the blue scene. Not because I care about the blue scene itself, but to make everything collapse. That enables us to get one of our endgame armors. Jinga's Akabuto and Eastern Silk Robes offer one of the greatest magic protections you could wish for from the game. And I will let you guess what type of damage does Vtail do. Fun fact, did you know the attacks Vtail does are not really magical? They are certain hits, but they have the element otherworldly. It's only basically different at a coding level, but it's just something I wanted to mention here. Back in Mahabre, unlock the last blood portal and be sure to collect all the soulstones possible, from the Temple of Torment, from the roads, from everywhere. We will need them regardless of the plan we apply. Also, we randomly dropped the Ring of Wraiths while in the back alleys. It's not potentially something we will use, but nice to have. Now that we have all the soulstones, we need corpses for them. First one, the goal on the first floor. I could have just talked and disabled him from being able to attack, but I wanted to see how far could we go without talking. Yeah, I definitely did not forget again. Yeah. And I am scared of saying it, but I actually feel like our strategy is kinda strong right now. 24 damage to deal with the enemies is the funniest thing I have ever seen, and it works! The goal falls kinda easily, and now I became overconfident. And I remembered the dogs are inside. And if you are like me, and when you were a new player they made you experience literal hell, why not repaying them with the same coin? What could be a death worse than being literally slowly consumed by worms over and over again until you have no more lifeblood inside you? What could be a better revenge than consuming opponents with the worst skill of the game? For everyone who got their ass destroyed by these idiots, I hope you're enjoying it right now. Okay, now it's time to get the real plan, the real 46% chance to reset our run. Are you ready? Get all the skills you need from the Hex and get Blood Golem and Necromancy. With necromancy and greater blood magic, we can safely get a skeleton from the ground. And now... oh boy. And now do something that makes me cry so badly. Oh Lord, give bone shears. You may be wondering, Frapollo, what are you doing? Are you stupid? Did you finally go insane? Yes. You know what? I am still not gonna say anything. For now, let's keep the bone shears on the skeleton, and let's go through the thicket. In here, you can find this mumbler, the infected mumbler. And I think it's also time to address the elephant in the room, the reason for which I didn't want to do this challenge for a very long time. You see, Vtail has a very special interaction in his battle. After the third eye is fully developed, it will cast one time Whispers of Grogoroth. The targeted party member will die after 5 turns. And this is slightly different from the Whispers of Grogoroth used by Grogoroth himself. While on the Grogoroth one you can use a Purifying Talisman to disable it and to prevent anyone from dying, in here it does not work. Is it a bug? Is it intended? I don't care! It just does not work! But as always, when the situation becomes terrible, Frapollo has a plan. The skeleton has a 47% chance to attack with the bone shears equipped, because the bone shears reduce accuracy by 50%, and the base accuracy is 97. If the skeleton doesn't miss the attack, we lose the challenge. If the skeleton misses the attack and my pheromones on the skeleton works, we are done. It feels so good when a plan actually works. It feels so good! Let me explain to you what happens now. The skeleton has the Brain Flower. The Brain Flower not only makes it so that the skeleton has a chance to attack even your party members, but also reduces accuracy by 50%. I think you already know what happens now. Minus 50 from bone shears and minus 50 from the infected flower makes it so that the skeleton will never be able to attack anything. And with this, combined with the pheromones, we have a way to survive Whispers of Grogoroth from Vtail. Everything is almost ready. The only thing we still need is a way to stay into the battle infinitely, for an infinite amount of turns, because how many HP does Vtail have again? So, 3500 HP on both the brain sides for a total 7000. 1500 HP on the third eye and 4500 HP on the head, for a grand total of potentially 13,000 HP to deal with by dealing 12 damage each turn. Basically, we have to deal more than 1000 needleworms to win. And I am sorry to tell you, but the regeneration offered from needleworm is not enough to resist to Vtail attacks. Vtail, of course, has a chance to not attack, but we cannot just gamble. We need a lot of HP and mind restoring items. You already know it's coming. You already know it's coming, oh lord, give Pinecone Pig. Enter into a battle with the Spectre Knight in the caves, from which the escape chance is always 100%, and enjoy your freaking farming! We're gonna farm for over 4 hours. I want to get at least 180 mind restoring items. With this one, the process is basically automatic. We just have to keep holding one single button to be able to escape after you set the command remember on. And that time has come once again, the time where in a challenge run I need to do some very repetitive stuff on which I can actually watch some TV series with. We have had Big Bang Theory, we have had Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Now it's finally time for the 8th show. It's a fairly short series, and from some people I was able to talk to online, apparently they call it a Squid Game-like, which I have no idea about because I have never watched the Squid Game. It's basically a big critique to capitalism, and also offers some very cruel scenes. If you like violence, this is kinda decent. There is not gonna be a lot of dismemberment or something, but there were some moments which I genuinely had to stop watching for a second because I was kinda horrified. Yes? I'm supposed to talk about the Needleworm only run. Sorry. Let's go back. Not only we get a bottle of whiskey and ale from the Pinecone Pig, we also get a lot of glass vials. With them, and with the Scroll of Transmutation, we can get a lot of other mind-restoring items by doing the Jesus Loop. In case you don't know, I will explain once again. Fill the glass vial in the pool of the Salmon Snake, you get a water vial. Transmutation into wine for 15 mind. Drink the wine for like 45 mind or something similar, and then repeat the process until you get an incredible amount of wine vials altogether. I think at this time I also tried to kill the priests near the entrance to see if I was lucky and I was able to get a priest robe from them, and there it is! Why do we want the priest robe? Because with this you can go into the dream in the Tower of the Endless and collect one extra empty scroll, which is gonna be relevant later. But everything is finally settled. We have the Jingaza Kabuto and Eastern Silk Robes to take less damage from Hurting and the Black Orb of Vtail. Sorcerer's Stone to offer extra mind recovery to cast Needleworm. A Skeleton which can only miss attacks, the Perfect Meat Shield for Whispers of Gorgoroth, and a lot, and I mean a lot, of mind restoring items. It's time to start the battle with Vtail. Let me explain something which I talked to you about before. Why didn't we give the Scroll of Leeches to the Skeleton? First of all, because it's only a chance to use Needleworm each turn, even if we teach him that. Second is that there are ways to prevent the Skeleton from dying against Whispers of Gorgoroth, such as equipping him with the Old Guard Soul. But do you remember the Hurting we talked about from Vtail? That Hurting is only able to destroy arms, never legs. And if we lose the Bone Shears, I guess you can imagine that's a problem, right? Fun fact, the skeleton is very bugged, and I actually want to make a video about how bugged is the skeleton. So unless he loses both the arms, the Bone Shears are still gonna be equipped. Regardless, after the Whispers of Gorgoroth gets triggered, and after the skeleton dies, it's just us, with a giant floating head in the darkness for the rest of eternity. Or, technically not for eternity, I mean, for a lot of hours at least. Imagine how weird Vtail must have felt, just staying in there with an idiot who keeps throwing worms at him, while he tries to destroy them with the best spells in the game. There is not much to say about this fight, honestly. We just have to keep attacking, and whenever we feel like we need to heal, we either use an item, or we restore our mind and use Loving Whispers. Never, like this before, I have felt a fight to be so freaking long. I think to this day, this is legitimately the longest and most stressful fight I have ever had. There is gonna be potentially a longer fight very soon, but still, this was maybe one of the longest ones yet. And you know what? I think this piece of art needs to stay alive in the world. That's why I am gonna upload an unlisted video of the full fight with Vtail only Needleworm. If you go into the description of this video and want to lose like 3 hours of your life, you can enjoy a fantastic fight. This piece of history will always be imprinted into YouTube. And after so much time, the body parts start falling down. Vtail cannot do anything else. We just keep attacking, and Vtail has to stare at us, slowly being consumed by all the worms, slowly realizing the scum he really is in thinking he was gonna be able to beat Larvina. But it's not over yet! Vtail may have fallen, but we still have a long run to traverse. And not because of a lot of complex stuff to do, just because the battles are like 1 hour each. Now it's finally time to equip the Penance Armor, because the next opponent is physical. Empty Scroll, the new god souls of the Tormented and the Endless, and it's time to start the fight against the Nameless Figurine. Once again, it's not a difficult fight, specifically because the Penance Armor reduces the damage we take by a lot. The real difficult part is that we have to stay here for another while, but the 8th show was being pretty good by this point, so I'm not lamenting. Also remember, if you accidentally feel like you are finishing your resources, it was not my case, but if you feel like it, remember you can still escape from this battle. I think we got like more than enough resources for the rest of the run, like we did too much Pinecone Pig farming because we were underconfident, and I think it's finally paying off. We can now relax completely. We still need every couple of turns to use Loving Whispers. Like, when you see at the end of the turn of the Nameless Figurine you're around 15 HP, you have to use Loving Whispers, otherwise the next turn there is the potential you die. But yeah, the strategy is very consistent, and eventually even the Nameless Figurine falls. And then... we arrive to Francois. So, double phase, each phase has an incredibly high amount of HP. You can disable Francois from attacking completely by talking. It was... while Vtail was funny, because we still have to be kinda tense, because there was a chance we took damage, here I felt so bored. Every couple of times I also forgot to talk, and we almost died because of that. And I wasn't feeling like, oh no, we almost died! No, I was feeling like, damn, that almost went very close, right? I don't know how to explain it. Francois remains still one of the most misunderused boss fights ever for the possibility of completely stunning him. But it's not the time to be sad, because with Francois falling, we equip the soul anchor we got from Nosramus before, and go to the other plane of existence. We surpass Sylvian using the torch skip, because while fighting her solo is already difficult, fighting her solo with the Needleworm and winning would be the video game equivalent of finding Jesus. And we finally talk with our new god. You know what's the funniest part? Whenever I do this kind of challenge, I really feel like I am sharing with you this secret knowledge of the game, these secret formulas to be able to accomplish something impossible. And what did the new god ask us? If we want to share our gospel or no. And so, whenever someone tells you that the Needleworm is terrible, you can, first of all, agree, but then you can remind them of the tale of Larvina. So, did you like this challenge run? For me, it was one of the hardest challenge runs, more for the patience rather than for the actual difficulty, but very much a resistance challenge. Let me know in the comments, I'm gonna rate every single one of you. Also, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, that's gonna help me a lot and it's gonna pay for my therapy. But for now, I will see you when we reach an even bigger depth in terms of difficulty. I was Frapollo94, and I will see you next time.